want to, of course, pay respects to all the parties we'll be dealing with. And we want to also avoid mentioning actual names and making direct references to subjects. We do not want to use this medium to settle our personal scores. We want to keep in mind our goal, which is to generate discussions and recommendations towards improving our community life and also our relationships. On this note, I'd like to welcome you and all our listeners to the show. I would like to kick off. By the way, I haven't had a chance to watch much of the African Cup of Nations. I had, and so when I use the word kick off, it just reminds me of.
Congratulations.
I think Ghana is through to the semi-finals, huh?
And Nigeria as well.
Okay, it's
wonderful.
It's going to be fireworks, eh?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so we're going to kick off this morning with the first question. And that I would like to throw to both of you. What do you consider to be a valid marriage? A valid marriage. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Apostle. The definition that I really want to give to this very question is a legal and socially sanctioned union between man and a woman. As God said it in the book of Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Woman will be a helpmate to the man. So, for that matter, Eve will be a helpmate to Adam. So, when we say consider a valid marriage, then of course, legally and socially. I use the word legally, depending on your environment, where your locality be. For example, if we are in Ghana, for example, and we are living in a village, when the social aspect is being done, by doing the normal dowry and everything, I think that is enough. But here in Holland, if you do the customary and legally you are not known in the community, then of course they won't consider you as a married person. So that's the reason why I use both words, legally and socially.
But in this case, it's a customary marriage, which we have in Ghana. I don't know whether in Suriname you have a customary marriage. That's you might call it traditional marriage. That is done, let's say, within the family. I'd say family to family, come together. Let's say before the advent of, let's say, going to the that house to get married and all those things, maybe many years back. I don't know how it was done, but in Ghana, parts of Africa, when the two families come together, they exchange, let's say, dowry or a bride price, then the marriage is done. Do you have that sort of marriage in Suriname? I'm just curious, actually.
Yeah, you have different kinds. You have the kinds of the bush Negroes, we call them, the Creole, and who live in the bush. They have their way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the different cultures in Suriname. You have like the Hindustani, you have the Javan, you have, all these kinds of cultures.
Yeah.
They have their own way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at in the city, they have to adapt to the law,
Yeah.
But in the
the remote areas.
they do their own thing.
Okay. So that's
they have what they call the leader, the basha. He's the one who's preparing that.
okay. So that's an accepted, socially accepted marriage, like he said. I just wanted to confirm that apart from the social norms and the legal norms we have today, we still have traditional, customary marriages. Okay, so that also is a valid marriage.
Yeah.
Recognized by the family.
Well, as far as it's not legalized. It means that it's not booked as legal. But it's accepted.
It is accepted. Okay. All right. Good. Well, just to clarify that point. Now, even if a customary marriage is done, like if two families endorse a marriage, a couple coming together, then they can now legally register it, and it's accepted as valid by the law. That's the point I want to make. That socially, done marriages, traditionally done marriages, are also accepted by that. The law requires that it be registered and then it's valid. Am I correct or not?
Yes, that's correct. I think now in the new Dutch system,
Yeah, it's accepted.
It's accepted, yes.
Okay, so now we can see what a valid marriage is. So what then would be an invalid marriage? Can we try to answer that? What would be an invalid marriage?
Well, I think looking at this, the opposite also might be true, that maybe if two people happen to live together for a long time,
Yeah.
and probably the customary duty or maybe the customary requirements has not been met,
Yes.
but they are living together and they are saying, well, because we are living together, we are married. That is not a valid one.
It doesn't make it valid.
It doesn't make it valid.
So as long as the parents, the families involved have not given their consent,
That's right.
then that cannot be.
That's
called
exactly
valid.
what I really want to arrive at. Yes.
Okay, so there are people who are like they've been together, they've maybe made children,
Irrespective of
but the
length.
families have not come together to meet to exchange, let's say, bride price or dowry or whatever.
Yes.
So they are in an invalid marriage.
That's to my opinion.
Yes.
That's why I see it, because basically, looking at a customary or maybe tradition, a traditional one, the two family members needs to come together,
Yeah.
and the duty needs to be performed, and from there, is rightly accepted. And now here, in the authorities also accepting that as well. So if these things are not in place,
Yes.
then of course the opposite is also very true.
Okay. Pastor, I think you share the same opinion.
Yeah, well, actually, I never went into too deep into this.
That aspect,
Because,
okay.
yeah, because it's something that, well, I was raised, Westerly, let's say. I was
Yes.
born in, in Suriname.
Yeah.
So, we have the same customs as in Holland.
Yeah.
So, but then you see also that those people who are living in the remote parts of Holland, of Suriname, they also they have a way of doing that.
Yes.
And it's been respected.
Precisely.
Because I don't know if it's really accepted, but it's respected.
It's respected.
You see, so I don't know if it's legalized,
Oh, no.
and whether it's legal or illegal, or if it's a marriage or not a marriage, I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, that's fine. I can understand your point very clearly. All right. So, what would you consider to be the basic qualifications for any two people to get into a marriage? I mean, what would qualify any two people to get into marriage? This is a general question, but just to build a foundation for what's coming.
Okay, is it a natural marriage or a Christian marriage?
It doesn't, well, either anything called marriage.
Well, I believe that when two people agree to do that,
Yes.
and if they know each other and they agree on that, and they know the basics of a marriage.
Yeah.
It's because many times people don't know the basics of a marriage.
What are the basics?
Well, as we mentioned, even in a natural way, people use the same terms, like in sickness and health, or whatever.
Yes.
So they use the same terms, but the thing is, the value of it is different as a Christian value. So it's different. It's difficult for me because I was married when I wasn't saved.
Yes.
And my value was high, but still, you'd live another kind of life. You see, so the values, you have those values, and I believe also the world is thinking differently from the Christian perspective. So I think that it's not a question that you can say, well, it's a general question, because if you want to generalize it, you have conflicts in the way people look at it.
Okay.
So and I think that also has to do with the ethics of it.
Okay. Pastor Elias, what would you say somebody needs to have in order to get married?
Well, that one, I think, first and foremost, marriage is for love. That thing, you can't rule it out.
Marriage is for what?
For love.
Love. L-O-V-E.
L-O-V-E.
Uh-huh.
So the love must be there. If there is no love and it was basing on any other different thing, probably there might be a problem. And number two, also, marriage is for grown-up. It's not for maybe infants, people who are grown up and they are matured. I think this probably might be my basis of going into marriage.
Okay, so marriage should be for grown-ups, mature people. So at least somebody from 18 and above.
Well, that is what the law is.
Law says.
18 years.
Okay, 18 and above. Well, with girls especially, I think it's permissible. From 18 upwards.
That is what
the law says. Okay. All right. So anybody who's mature and you said love must be a component of that, those are requirements. Okay. Now, in the church, we are faced with a problem, and that is marriage breakdowns. This actually is nothing compared with what used to be the case. Because we see marriages not being so stable like it's supposed to be. And people are wondering, it's almost like an attack on the home and the family. Okay, so give us your perspective on this. Then we can go further into exploring, under which conditions can a marriage be broken up. The trend of, marriages, the way marriages are going in the community, in the church especially.
Well, as I have said already, that marriage is supposed to be based on love.
Yeah.
That is the foundational aspect of it. So even the Bible continues to say that love covers multitudes of sin. So when the love is not there, the least thing that will happen in a marriage brings provocation. And it can bring a whole lot of irritation.
So you're saying love needs to be
in place. Yes.
Does that love, just trying to, does that love remain constant throughout? Or is it, because somebody say, okay, I don't love him no more, therefore I'm walking out. We have a friend or less an acquaintance who got married to a lady, he's a pastor, got married to a lady, and later they traveled out. Then the lady wanted to divorce him. So could it be that the love of that woman has finished?
Apostle,
and this is even by Christians. The marriage was done in the church.
That is not a problem. The issue is the major problem that we are having these days is that people probably may confess, I love you, but within the heart,
they don't love.
The love is not there. And most of the people also goes into marriage probably with a different motive. And that is the reason why I'm saying love must be there, because love must be there and the love also must grow. For example, look into women. When you see a woman with all the necessary outfits, and when a child comes in, or maybe as time goes on, the person is maturing. Some of the figures and maybe the things that attracted you for you to go in for that woman, probably things might be changing. And if it's not based on love, when those things are changing, then the problem starts to come. You see, the problem is as a pastor and probably having the opportunity to interfere or having the privilege to be able to talk to people in this area. There are so many funny things that we can't even disclose some of them here. How can a man tell his wife that when we are going into the public, I want you to just breathe in so that your tummy will just understand. And sometimes they force them even to tighten all the schedules. You understand?
Pressure.
It's a whole lot of pressure. It's a whole lot of pressure. You understand? So the basis is love must be there, and when the love is there, it doesn't matter so much about the outlook, because the foundation of the whole thing is within. You understand? So, marriage now, people may say, whether he is a Christian or not, what we confess sometimes is a different thing altogether. Conditions and situations force people into marriage, and some of them, when their conditions or the reason why they go into the marriage are met, then of course the marriage also needs to change. So it's a big and a major problem. There are some of the things we can't even discuss.
But you know what? It's worth really getting to this to get to know some of the reasons why people, leave the marriages or end their marriages, because all we hear is that this one has left his marriage or left his wife or left his husband. But it's worth to know some of the reasons, some of the things that are happening. In fact, just yesterday we were reading a pastor who has just left his wife for how many years? How many years was that? A couple of years actually. And now
that's the second marriage.
God has told him to marry a virgin.
And that's the second marriage.
So you hear some of these things and it blows your mind and you wonder, hey, what's on earth is going on? Okay, we were not in that marriage. We don't know what really happened. We can't really tell.
Yes.
As I said, we can only, we may pass judgment or our own opinion, which may not even be very valid.
Absolutely.
You see,
Absolutely.
but from our experience as ministers, as counselors, what are some of the things which have given cause to marriages breaking down in the society, in the community we are used to? I think I want us to bring some of these things out because they are real, they are happening. Some may be trivial, some may be serious, but these are the issues which are causing marriages to break down.
Yes.
Please, I want us to open up on this a bit.
I just want to mention something because
Go ahead, sir.
Vasily is talking about love, but love, what is the understanding of love? You see, the world has another view on love.
Yes.
I think the view in the world is more lust than love. You see, but in Christ Jesus,
Yes.
The most intimate part of a marriage is the sexual part.
Yes.
But I don't think that's the basis of a
That's
marriage.
not the only thing, absolutely.
Because the marriage, stands for, what God has joined together.
Yes.
Joined together.
Yes.
You see, when we talk about health, it talks about the real word, in Genesis, when God says, man will work, will do, and
Yes.
the word Agar means that, he was going to develop himself to be that aid that God has given him, and the task that God has given him here on earth.
Yes.
So it's not about our own thing. You see, I believe it's a God thing. God placed Eve next to Adam to accomplish what the task is.
Yes.
And then we think we have task here on earth. And when you look at the life that, you want a wife for you, it's wrong. I think that vision is wrong. You have a wife to accomplish what God has given you. You see, and that's what God has given you. That's the task we should look for to accomplish in our lifetime here on earth. Because the Bible teaches me in Psalm 116:15, it says that the heavens is from God, and the earth is man's. So we have a task here on earth to accomplish, and the wife is the helper of the man to help him to accomplish what is given, what the task is that God has given the man.
Yes.
So if you're going to define it, in a natural way and a spiritual way, you see a great difference.
It's true.
So that's why I start telling you, I don't, if I look at the natural way of how people approach a marriage, is different from the world.
Yes.
From Christianity, from God's way.
But our perspective actually is based on what's happening in the church.
Okay, but what happens now, I see that many thoughts of the world
Have come
has come into the church. Because there are some leaders that they don't value the marriage as how it should be. I know, I've experienced that too. So I'm as a Christian, I was married, I was divorced because it wasn't my decision.
No.
You see, so but based on what she wanted to do, because that's the thing.
Position.
Sometimes people got two visions and they call it division. You see, because at the same time you need a vision, one vision to get there, and that's why I believe that God has given a man a task. You know, and if the woman, if the wife will not join the man, you will have division, and that division is happening.
Yes.
Because people are looking for things for their own. They're very self-centered,
Yes.
you know, and egoistic, and thinking that God's called them for one purpose. But you know, you see that all the marriages has to do with self. It doesn't have to do with God. Because if God's in the middle, people will sacrifice their lives.
Yes.
Because love is sacrificial. The love that the man should share with his wife is a sacrificial love. And the love that the woman should share with the man is a submissive love.
Yes.
You see, so, and that's the difference. Because if people don't see it like that, they're gonna think, well, it's my thing. No, it's not a thing of man, it's a thing of God. Especially when we come to God, we should understand that Jesus came to the earth and suffered. That was his love. And the man should suffer to get where he wants to be, also to pull his wife, and you suffer. But the suffering is also changing. It's changing men and women to be as Christ. You see, because that's the love. If you look at 1 Corinthians 13, we see what love is all about.
Yes.
It's not about self. You see, and that's what I believe, and that's the difference in as you know, as a natural person, you know, look at the marriage, and as a Christian, look at the marriage. But it also has to do with the preparation before marriage, because if people are not prepared to go into marriage, they will go into the marriage with their own mind, and their own mind will be a mind formed according to the word. Because that's where we have to prepare people before they get married, and even before they get married, you still ask them, you still going to want to get married?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go into those aspects. By the way, if you're listening to this program now, we welcome you to give us a call or give us your reaction on this topic. The studio line is 0207371619. Give us your take on this issue. You've said a couple of things actually. You know, and while we're speaking, when you spoke about vision, we have one vision.
Yes.
And then when it becomes a division, that's a split vision.
Yes.
I was reading something in I think Corinthians. I don't know what it's first or second. I think Corinthians. Yes. Corinthians where it says that. We should not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Now, if that gives us an idea of two oxen with a common yoke, you know, tied together, plowed together, work together, you know, etc., etc. So the two oxen must be together in order to do the work together. That ties in with what you're saying about the woman standing with the man to accomplish the vision God has given to them. Now, if it says unequally yoked, then there's something unequal about the yoking. And if there's an unequal yoke, there might be, along the line, something that will cause, either the yoke to be undone or something like that. But, you know, we need to get into that aspect of the discussion because it's quite interesting how Paul puts the whole thing. We've got to analyze that very clearly. Okay, but you know, some of the reasons why people break up, and you're talking about the division factor and the love factor. What are some of the things that we see today, we hear today, which is actually making our marriages, you know, break up? Apart from the two you have mentioned, are there some more you would like to bring up?
Well, excuse me. You see, there are some marriages that is also being done out of convenience.
Convenience marriage. Okay, so all of those are added to the statistics because when we are adding up the numbers, we don't say, okay, this one was done by convenience and this one was done out of love. We don't know those things.
That's right.
You see?
That's right.
So there are other issues coming up in the name of marriage, and all of them, you know, spoiling the figure, so to speak. You see?
That's right.
So so some are out of convenience, you said. And by that you mean what?
You know, I'm not going to mention any church
No.
specifically.
No.
You know, at a certain point in time,
Yes.
there was in a church here that a lot of people, about 20, 22 years ago,
Yes.
a lot of people started even getting married.
Mm.
And one of them specifically was a young man who came in, a vibrant, dynamic, who has finished university from somewhere, Africa.
Yes.
And he came in, and because of his contribution and his effort in the church,
Yeah.
people want him to, stay in the church. And of course, if you want to stay in this place, you need to be documented and all those things. So there were some of the women who were even closer to some of the leaders.
Yeah.
And out of that, they started looking around and just try to help these things to come so that the young man can at least
Get legalized.
Exactly. And possibly to my surprise, the woman has been into prostitution for quite a long time, and the tubes and all those things has been operated, and for her to get a child is not possible. But all these things were not known to the young man. And after
Were known or not?
were not known.
Oh.
And so after some of these issues
Yeah.
came up medically, then from there, the marriage started shaking.
Okay.
And I believe if marriage is really for love,
Yes.
it's really for love, irrespective of what. If I'm talking about love, it's not about the lust that maybe as Pastor just tried to help us to define it, what the world people are looking at. Because the Bible says God is love. And the love that God is what love that I'm talking about.
Yes.
And whenever we have a godly love, we look beyond situations and circumstances.
Uh-huh.
That is how it is. So
How do you, on the very point you're making, let me just put you on the spot right now, okay? Imagine you were Jacob, and then you had decided to marry Rachel, and then on your wedding night, only to be deceived, and you were given Leah. If you woke up in the morning, how would you feel? And what would you do to the marriage? What would you have done if you were Jacob?
absolutely, Apostle. The issue is, in that time, the culture permit them to do certain things. But if the option was just only one, then maybe Jacob was in trouble.
Yes.
You understand? If the option was that single one and you have no any other option, then I think the situation could have been different as it is. So I believe.
I know it's a tough one, but realistically, I think Jacob didn't love the woman, Leah, who was thrown at him. He didn't love the woman, and that's why the woman kept doing everything she could to win the love of Jacob. She really, really worked hard, but he had to fulfill his marital obligation to the woman. So that's why the children kept coming and coming. But he thought the children who were coming were going to, win the love of the man, but he didn't. You see, but the moment Rachel broke through and God remembered her and she had a baby, immediately she had the first child. Jacob decided to leave Laban's home.
After how many years?
So it was like where his love was in Rachel. And for convenience, he had to endure Leah. So that kind of ties in with the convenience thing that you're talking about. So a lot of factors go into this marriage thing, and I think when it is not well based or founded, there are going to be cracks along the way in the relationship.
Wow.
So all of these things are adding up to the figures that we're looking at now. We talk about marriages, not being stable and all that, So it's I like that point we're making. Well, I don't know if you want to comment on some of the things which have been said so far. Yeah.
But I just want to make a point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to make a point because if we talk about these things, we have to be sure that what's basics. What is what God says? You see, and what God says is very important. He said He hates divorce. And
let's see that. Hello, good morning. Oh yeah, Brother Ernest, how are you? Long time. Pastor Elias, okay, great. He's here, he's hearing you.
Thank you.
You have a question, sir? Go ahead.
I want to ask
Is it compulsory to do what? Is it compulsory to have a wedding in the church? As a part of the marriage? As a wedding okay, to have a wedding ceremony in the marriage is asking, is that compulsory to make a marriage valid? Is that your question, Brother Ernest? Yeah. Okay. Gentlemen, please answer the question.
Well, if you see
First, take it up.
okay, if you see what Romans 13 says,
yeah,
that we should commit ourselves unto the rules of the land.
Uh-huh.
You see, so one of the things that we can many times we think because of our culture we can stand above, and especially being Christians,
yeah,
we can stand above the law of the land. But the Bible teaches clearly that God installed that.
Yes.
So it's from the beginning something that God really placed there. That even Jesus came and said,
The wedding ceremony.
give Caesar what
Belongs to Caesar.
and give God what belongs to God.
Yeah.
So we have to understand that the marriage, the wedding in the church, is not, you could say, something to cover up the legal stuff, no, but it's more like, when we get married in church, it's like, accentuating what God is doing. Putting like, okay, this we agreed on what God wants,
we endorse it.
Okay, yeah, and then in church we say it now in front of God, and all the testimonies that are there that God has brought us together. So God is going to seal this.
Okay, in support, I think marriage is not something that which was made by man.
Yes.
It was God himself who instituted it.
Yeah.
We see from the Bible from the beginning that it's God who brought Eve to Adam. So marriage basically is something that God instituted. So if we as human beings here on earth are just going to enjoy what God has given unto us,
yes,
don't you think it would be so nice to appreciate him, just to bring it back to him for a blessing? You understand? So it's like you can say, if you believe in God and you accepted that marriage is something that God has ordained, that God has instituted,
yes,
then of course you need the blessings of God to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So it's
but the idea of weddings, is that really in the Bible?
well, that is a Jewish I think
Well, if you see the first miracle that Jesus did
It was in a wedding.
was in a wedding.
It was in a wedding. Yeah.
So
it wasn't in a church, it was in a community.
In a community.
Okay. But he's talking about, I suppose he means wedding in the church.
Okay, yeah, but I believe that
But Jesus was
when
officiating it.
when Jesus left, he
Yeah.
said he's going to build a church.
Yeah.
So the church is going to be now the place where these things has to happen. When Jesus was walking around, he was the church.
Yes.
You see, but now when he left, he said, I'm going to build my church on this, revelation of Peter.
Yes.
So his church is going to be his universal body. And his universal body, is going to be that part that everywhere submits himself under the fivefold ministry. You see, and the fivefold ministry, that's where God installs his church, built his church.
Yeah.
You see, so when we talk about the things before Christ, we have to understand that after Christ something happened. And that's where he installed all these things to be happening.
Yeah. I don't... Yeah, go ahead.
and probably it would have been much more good if we could have asked him to make it clear whether it's just a wedding in a worldly setup or maybe a wedding in the church. Because if you marry as a Christian, then of course you need the blessings of God. And it must be done in a church.
Precisely.
That's my understanding.
Okay. What if you invite the pastor to your home to bless the wedding at home? Would that be also a marriage blessed by God?
Because the man of God is
It could be. Why not? Because where
Man
two or
of
three
God.
are gathered in the name of God.
Yes,
then
it's
But
just-
the most important is to have the blessing of God. So to have the man of
Absolutely.
God pronounce the blessing. I think that is the thing we're talking
Absolutely.
about.
But that pastor should be an ordained pastor connected to a church.
Yes.
And not somebody that calls himself a pastor.
Pastor.
Exactly.
Somebody that's under
Authority.
authority.
Okay. Brother Ernest, I don't know whether your question has been answered. Otherwise, please call us back and clarify the question. But I guess, he was wondering, about the wedding, or sorry, the marriage being necessarily validated by a wedding. Maybe that's what he was trying to clarify. So if you don't have a wedding, does it mean you don't have a valid marriage?
But
Maybe that was the
it
question.
has to fulfill the requirements.
Yes.
The requirements that God, because as God installed the marriage, He installed also the law of the land.
Yes.
So you have to submit under the law of the land,
Uh-huh.
and then God will bless it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. On that note, okay, let's see another call. Yeah. Good morning. Is it right next? Okay. Yes. Go ahead. You want to do what? The wedding. Yeah. Clarify that point. Yes. Mhm. Okay. So in a desire to have a wedding, people get into financial problems because they have to look for money and all that. So what is your take on that? You think the wedding should be scrapped or what? Yeah. I said I'm not Pastor Elias. I said that. I said it. No Pastor Elias. Anyway, I think that's an option we should actually consider because people are driven by the expectations of society so much so that they want to have the biggest wedding like Princess Diana or whoever, Maxima, Princess Maxima. So we are driven and pressured to do things beyond our means, and that it may be a part of the problem. Okay, you want to give us a contribution here? I think Pastor wants to say something here.
Well, I would like to add up to what the pastors are saying, but if God have given you the grace and then you found somebody that you love, I think just getting the pastor alone and then the pastor comes to your home shouldn't just be the only yardstick. I think somebody is being selfish here. It is supposed to be a time of merriment. You get involved your friends because when we saw Jesus in that wedding in John 2,
Yeah.
Jesus was there and then all the relatives of the people, the two parties were there with their friends.
Yeah.
So if you are going to get only the pastor in your home just to do the wedding, I think it's a little bit of being selfish. It's a time of merriment. So a man must be able, or both of them must be able to save their money to at least share this glorious time. It's supposed to be a life event. But because we are doing it so secretively in the modern way now, whereby we walk to the city hall and it's only you and me, and then we just go there and then with the official of the government and then they marry us. That is also why it's so easy now for them to just divorce. But if families are involved and friends are involved and people are involved and they witness this good occasion, I believe that when you people want to divorce, you will consider, you will begin to think about some few things. Do you understand me? So it's good to economize it and then to just get a pastor come your home and do it because you want to economize money. But somehow along the line, it is also very detrimental because if it's only the pastor that witnessed it, he's just the only one. So it becomes like what we are facing in the city hall, where we go, a girl, where we just go and then end it up. So let's try to broaden our heart.
Amen. Bless you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Yes, sir. Uncle B, go ahead. Really? Now let's hear your voice. Tell us what you think. Yes. Mm-hmm. They allow certain things to happen in the society which affects the marriage. What is that?
Oh, yeah. It's true, it's true. Yeah, yeah. In America.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a question of sorry. It's a question of greed here, and that again comes to the basis of the marriage and what foundation was the marriage, made. Was it for real love or was for convenience?
Okay, or diversion.
So if those things are not well founded, the marriage will go to shambles along the line.
Exactly.
So when we talk about divorces in the church today, so all these factors are playing a part, but again, if two people say they're in love, how do you investigate to know whether it's true love or whether, it's hard to know everything.
Exactly.
So the man of God or the minister or the officer of the law who's going to, officiate the marriage has no choice but to believe the testimony of the two. Okay, we're in love, we want to get settled, and they pronounce the blessing, and then that is it.
Yeah, but I believe, the minister or the pastor, they set the pace.
Yes.
How you set the pace, a pre-counseling, marriage counseling is the best thing that happens, because that will put, a higher level to the marriage.
Yes.
But too many people, believe, because people feel they understand. But many times feelings go beyond understanding. You see, and when feelings go beyond understanding, it means that people don't understand what they're getting into. And once they don't know what they're getting into, when troubles come, they look out for the easy way out. And the easy way out is to divorce. But that's where, the real Christian is going to bite the dust. He's going to fight for his marriage because he understood what he did before God. And he's going to stand there and he's going to suffer. He's going to, for one cause. That's to please God.
It will be interesting to analyze, to look into the consequences of, taking marriage so lightly. Those who go into it for convenience, for pleasure, for the money, all these things. And what they're getting themselves into eventually, because people think it's one of those things you can just go for it and break up when you want to, and some people have a strategy or have a motive for getting into a relationship like this because they know what they have planned and targeted to do to have at the end of the day. And so it's important to caution people about these things very carefully. Let's take a short break and then we'll come up and finish, because I think we have just begun to scratch the surface.